might completely ignore me. No, he's off the phone. Waiting for Mark to reply. Connecting. Oh my days. Mark, what are you doing this on? A potato?
Yeah.
Ah, there he is. That's better. Slow down. Your internet's not too good, I don't think.
You right?
Yeah, you're on Wi-Fi?
4G probably.
All right, sweet. You was a bit unsteady for a minute there.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi's not too good this area, mate.
Out in the sticks, country bumpkin.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. So how you doing, pal?
Just having a brew, waiting for you, mate, to show me up.
Right. So let's get this show on the road.
Rightio.
Mark Gray. Born 17th of August 1973. That makes you
Old.
old. Like double old.
Yeah, thanks for remembering that, Pidge.
No, you're very welcome, my friend. You now reside like out in the country, like towards Peterborough-ish way, is it?
Yeah, Peterborough and Stamford are the nearest cities to me, but I live in a little town called Bourne.
Very little town. So you're like the most famous person there. Is that why you did it? Moved to a little...
Yeah,
They will know me.
Karen Core, the lady player, she originally comes from Bourne, but she now lives in America because she took up playing 9-ball pool many years ago, and she's out in the States now.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah, we touched on Karen yesterday with the young, lovely Kelly.
Yeah,
so, Mark,
that's how I first met Kelly, through snooker, watching Karen in ladies snooker many, many years ago. So
that's it. When you've got many years behind you, you've got many stories to tell, right? So, snooker was your first love then, shall we say? It was your first kind of success in Q Sports. How did you get into it, pal?
Basically, Mum and Dad used to really love it, and they used to have it on TV all the time, and they were big Steve Davis fans. And I got watching it one day, and Alex Higgins was on. Obviously, he always wore the fancy clothes, was a bit outrageous, played the flash shots. And sort of after watching him, sort of made me want to play snooker. And then for something like my 6th or 7th birthday, I had a 4-foot table bought for me. And then when I was 8 or 9, I had a 6-foot table. And then when I was like 10 or 11, first became a member of a snooker club in Peterborough. And that's how it all sort of started, really. And I remember begging my mum and dad to let me stay up to watch Alex Higgins beat Ray Reardon in the 1982 World Final. So that's how it all started.
Before I was born. I was born.
Hey, that's how it all started.
Yeah, as the missus is saying, keep the camera still, Mark. You need to get a holder. She's on you from here.
The missus is sorting the little one out upstairs.
Not by looks of this, she's not. She's trying to sort you out. Trying to tell you to keep the camera still. So listen. Okay, so did you start off with coaching? Was there a local coach in Peterborough? Or
I went to a snooker club called the Court Snooker Club in Peterborough, and I'm not sure you know this guy, Mark Wardman. He was a world billiards champion, and he had the club, and I had my first 100 break playing him at 13. And he went running around the club going crazy and giving me free life membership. And then he knew a guy, and I started having coaching every Saturday, just one day a week. I used to go coaching, and it's the little one. Sorry, Pete. Here's the little one. Here's the little one.
Hello, you all right, trouble?
Hello.
See ya.
Hello.
All right, trouble.
Yeah. So I had coaching. Off you go, then. Off you go. And so I had coaching once a week until I was about 15, really. And then I started playing lots of junior tournaments, winning all the Cambridgeshire under 14s, under 16s. Sort of me and Joe Perry were like the 2 best junior players.
Not a bad person.
See where it all went wrong.
Yeah. So
Joe's a millionaire, and I'm sat here chatting with you.
I don't know who's got a better deal. Like me and Joe, we go back a bit as well. So pitching gets about.
Yeah, Joe's a great lad. I've known Joe all my life, and he done brilliant, really.
Yeah, definitely. So you decided to turn pro in '92.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it's
Wikipedia.
snooker was in the doldrums, and they had no money at all, and they decided to open the game up so basically you could just buy your professional status.
Lovely.
For I think it was £1,000, you bought your professional status, and then like there was only 8 tournaments then, so it's like
I did wonder how you turned pro, but now I know.
Yeah, my mum and dad paid £1,000 to turn me professional, and then there was like 8 or 9 tournaments a year, and you paid like £100 or £200 to enter each one. So it was a big money-making thing for World Snooker at the time, which ultimately kept them going.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you had like 700 or 800 professional players rocking up at Blackpool, the Norbert Castle, playing qualifiers for all these events, and it's a real tough school, to be fair.
Yeah.
I didn't really do myself justice. I was sort of a great pro-am player. My cue action, as I go back to Alex Higgins, I sort of copied him a little bit, which is probably not the greatest move.
Very tricky.
my cue action's like very jabby, a bit like him. And I sort of went with high hopes when I turned pro. Mum and dad sort of put all the last pennies in for me. And I sort of, my pro-am record was brilliant. I'd won like 52 pro-ams or something, which anyone, even Ronnie O, when I was growing up with him, he'll tell you that's a great record to have. But I just couldn't seem to adjust to the match snooker tables, like the pockets being a lot tighter, and my cue action sort of got found out a little bit, really.
Yeah, you can't really twitch them in as much, can you?
So I'd done all right. You know, you sort of go in, turning pro, there's 800 or 900 players. After the first year, I was like in the top 250. So you've done yourself all right. Then the next year, I think I got to like 140. And then I sort of got myself to like 70, provisionally 59 or provisionally 61, I think was my highest. But I never consolidated on that to get in the top 64, which is what you needed to do at the time.
I got your highest ranking as 79, pal.
No, officially, I was 60 something. Wikipedia,
really?
Never right, pal.
It's never right.
It's never right.
Should have delved deeper. Yeah,
so
like
just halfway through a season, I was provisionally 59, and if I'd just kicked on a little bit, I'd have got myself in the top 64, but I never did. So
it was a tough road anyway, should we say, like your snooker career. Highlights. Do you want to run through some highlights?
But snooker, my biggest highlight in snooker would have been 1998 when I played Jimmy White live on Sky Sports TV in the British Open at Plymouth Pavilions, and I went down there with my mum, my dad, my brother, and I beat him 5-4 live on TV from 3-1 down. So that would be my highlight for like playing well. I think I had 250s, 270 breaks, which is good enough to win most best of nines.
Yeah, of course. Like British Open was actually a good tournament for you. I think you made the last 32 again, 99 as well.
Yeah, I've done all right in that one. I don't know why, but in general, I never really got past like last 32s, last 32, last 48. It was real tough school. I turned pro in an era, like Ronnie turned pro, Mark King, Ebden, Matthew Stevens, Paul Hunter, Stephen Maguire, John Higgins. So that was tough coming through with all them boys.
Yeah, you could have definitely picked a better time.
I look at snooker now. We'll probably talk about snooker later. I've been playing in the snooker seniors, and I talk to players now, and there's no like pro-am circuit anymore. There's no real great amateur scene anymore, from what I hear. So I think the amateur scene is amazing. Pro-ams every weekend down London, up north, Leeds, and that. Where now I've had a look because obviously I'm sort of getting back into snooker a little bit, and there's just nothing for players to play in. So it's a shame, really.
Oh, fair enough. Like, all right, let's go back in time a little bit then. Touch on your pro-am career. Like, how did that work then? Like, just all these clubs around the country were putting on like...
Yeah, back in the 73 I was born. So like 89, I'd have been 16. Like 16, 17, 18, my mum just took me up and down the country. We used to go to London, like the events used to be Barking, Ilford, Romford, Witham, Rayleigh Lanes. You probably know some of them areas.
Yeah.
They used to have like midweek tournaments. I'd go down, stay at a friend's, go to a midweek one, get to the final. I remember losing to Ken Doherty 4-2 in the final, the one at Rayleigh. Then you'd head off to Ilford for the Saturday, and I remember get to the final, lose to Ebden or beat Ebden. But you're playing the likes of Ronnie and Doherty and all them boys all the time. And I always remember Ronnie and Ronnie's dad, because me and my mum knew them really well. They said I should have moved to London when I was 15, but I was like too scared, if you like.
Yeah. Like it's a big move, right?
But, you know,
cut
now,
for a country boy.
Yeah, with Paul, like you just get his two a penny now. You're on a train, plane, automobiles all the time. But then at 15,
Yeah,
it's sort of, you know, I remember him saying it, and I should have done it. You know, who knows where I'd have been. I definitely think I could have got top 64, top 32 for sure. But
say la vie.
You there, pal?
Yeah, your connection's a bit iffy, like, but yeah, say la vie. Like, you know, you had a go, you know, you enjoyed it, and
I don't regret it. Certainly don't regret it.
Yeah, and we'll touch back on your snooker career probably later down in the interview, because we know you're back playing. So, like, your snooker career pretty much ended in 2003, really. I think I've got it down as you played, because you dropped off the tour and then you played some qualifying events, got back onto the tour.
Yeah.
And then you only played 3 events or something in your last year as a professional. I think you kind of just went, I've had enough of it.
I lost the plot, I fell off the tour, and then they done like what was called a challenge tour to get back on, where you had, I don't know how many events it was, 4 maybe it was, and like so many points from each event, so many players would get their pro status back. And I think I beat Sean Murphy in the final of one of the challenge events to get back on. And I think I lost to Rory McLeod in the final of another. But I managed to get my pro status back again pretty comfortable. But then, again, it's the same old story. Once I was on the pro, and I think I was playing at Prestatyn, Pontins. Prestatyn was where they was having the qualifiers.
Yeah.
I think I was playing Darren Morgan, who, like, no disrespect to him, he was dropping down the rankings. And if I want to do anything in the game, I've got to be beating him. And I missed a couple of blacks off the spot, put my cue through the pack of reds and conceded. And
Lovely.
Conceded the match, and that was me. And I always said I'd never play snooker again. Which, to be fair, I never did until recently.
Yeah. But then there was a bit of a gap between the end of your snooker career, say, and then like your breakout pool career, right?
Yeah, because I think 9-ball pool, I only started playing in like 2005, 2006, 2007 time around there.
Yeah. So
basically, I started working with Karen Corr's brother, who's a builder, and I was labouring for him for them 3 or 4 years.
Okay. And then...
I just fell out. I picked Q up, just fell out of love with Q Sports, and sort of just hated the game, really.
I know how you feel. It gets like, when you get beat week in, week out, you kind of just think, why do I bother?
Yeah. Totally.
So then you met Karen Corr's brother, and you must have obviously been talking about Karen, etc., etc.
Yeah, I've always known them because they've always lived in my area. Brian's always been a builder, and I'd been labouring for him 3 or 4 years. Then he decided to open a snooker club up, pool club up, and he said his sister had been doing really well in America. Why, instead of just like quitting Q Sports completely, why do I not give a go at 9-ball pool? And I suppose I'm a typical ex-snooker player or current snooker player. They sort of laugh at the game, think it's not as skillful as snooker, which probably, in all honesty, is not as skillful. It has its own skills, but, you know, for me, the pinnacle of all Q Sports is snooker, you know. So anyway, so I went to it's before the GB 9-ball tour started. There was a tour called BPPA, the British Pool Players Professional Association. And I just went to a tournament there. I think I just went with a mate, a snooker cue, used a racket cue to break off with. And I got to the final, lost to Imran 11-7, but I beat a lot of good players on the way. And I remember picking up 600 quid for runner-up. And I thought, that's not a bad day at the office for something I've not done. And then I went to another one the following weekend, won it. And then I went to one the next weekend, won it. And that's how I really got into it.
That's like a week's wages labouring, right?
Well, all of a sudden, yeah, because like pro-am days in snooker, even though there's lots of pro-ams, you'd win 300s, 400s, 500s. All of a sudden, I'm winning grands, 600s, 800s. I'm thinking, oh, this is not bad. And that's how I really got into it, to be honest.
Okay, so like your next step there, then, so that's like 2007, say.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know when the GB9 really started. Was you playing Euro tours before GB9?
Euro Tour. I think I started playing Euro Tours 2006-ish. I had my first Euro Tour win in 2007 in Switzerland. But I know it came pretty quickly. I didn't have to play year after year after year to get my first European win. I know it come along pretty quick.
I've actually got you down as winning the Swiss Nine Ball Open in 2008, which
Oh,
is
was it
when
8?
yeah, you became the #1 in Britain and Europe that year.
Yeah. Yeah, it all happened pretty quickly for me, to be fair. You know,
Yeah.
I was still like, I never felt I could miss. I still felt like I was a snooker player in a way, and I just felt the pockets were huge, and I was obviously still cueing a lot better then than what I do now as well, which obviously helped. You know, cue action definitely deteriorates with age. I remember Stephen Hendry saying, once you're over 40, that cue action goes. And
you've been long over 40 for a while.
Yeah, I know. But I've noticed that the last 2 or 3 years, my cue actions really deteriorated. Well, that's because my personal life's changed as well. I lost my dad like 2 or 3 years ago. That sort of affected me quite badly. So, and I'm probably not the biggest practicer in the world, as you probably know.
No. Really? No, yeah. So 2008 as well, like it was a big year, breakout year for Granit in America, I'd say, with the Swiss Open, becoming European #1, British #1.
Yeah.
And also your first year in the Mosconi Cup.
Yeah, because I finished #1, so that got me in the Mosconi. That's how it worked. The Euro Tour #1 ranked player automatically got picked. And I remember that so well because we was in Weert in Holland. I think I'd lost in the last 8 or last 16. And the final was Souquet and Fians. And I needed Souquet to beat Fians to make sure I finished #1.
Right.
And Fians was 5-1 up and lost. That's how it got me in the... Because I'm never going to get... I know. I was like... That was unbelievable. I remember that really well. I probably sat with Jonesy actually saying, this is my form. I just need Souquet to beat.
That does sound about right.
And
you're sitting there moaning that someone else
12 pints in, playing cards round the corner. And I remember it. He kept going, having a look. And he said, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1. I said, that's it. It's over. And the next thing you know, the Kaisers run about an 8-pack to get me.
Run an 8-pack. Never in his life, the Kaiser.
Oh, dear. So I do remember that well, yeah. And that it all happened pretty quickly. And that Mosconi Cup was in Malta as well, because Drago was in the team.
Yes, so, Tony.
I think that's why Malta was picked that year to try and get the crowds. Although the crowds were a little bit disappointing, I do remember that.
Really, the Maltese love their cue sports as well. It's strange.
Yeah, they love snooker, but they didn't seem so familiar with 9-ball pool. So
okay.
I'm trying to think
of the over nowadays.
I'm trying to remember our team. I think it was me, Mika, Drago, Fian, and Souquet. And Alex Lely was the coach.
And now the new
back again. Yeah,
back again. So you've played in the Mosconi Cup 3 times.
Yeah, 3 times. Yeah, 2009, 2014 at Blackpool, great venue that one, and then 2016 Ali Pali, which is probably the best one I played because I played my best pool in that one.
And do you think that was probably the best? So we'll talk about 2016. Do you think that was probably the best team ever? The Mosconi team?
Yeah, a lot of people have said that. A lot of people messaged us, and even us as a team, because you had me, Daz, Jason Shaw, Fian, and Albin. Don't get me wrong, there's been other great teams, obviously, but we did get a lot of people saying that's the best team ever. Yeah, for me, the way we was all playing, it felt like the best team. And Daz probably didn't even play his best in that one. You know, he probably, by his admission, was a little bit lucky to get picked that year because I think he got a wild card. 1 minute out, the next minute Appleton got in, I think.
That's the only goal he's had for a while, bless him.
But obviously, as from a playing point of view, I was over the moon to have Darren, and you know what I mean. He's like English. I have the utmost respect for him. He's one of the greatest players under pressure, you know. So
you've aged well as well. Look, you can say things like that now. I bet you hated it when you come on the scene, taking money out of your pocket, right?
I think all the 9-ball players would not have loved seeing Mellin, Appleton, Boys, me coming through, because at the time before I started playing, it was like Raj, Imran, and Daryl. They were sort of. I'd sort of done a little bit of homework and was looking who was the best players and that, because I was totally naive with 9-ball, knew nothing about it. So I thought I'd have a look to see who's who. And obviously I recognised Peach's name from snooker. He was never in the standard I was at snooker, but I knew he was a decent player. Yeah. And I like #1. Then Raj, I'd never heard of Raj. I see he was #2.
He'd love that.
I didn't know Imran either. You know,
No.
he played a little bit of snooker, and I see he was like 3 on the old rankings. Obviously, when we all come along, me, and then obviously I was the first one from snooker. There's not many come from snooker, Pidge, really, is there? When you think,
no, not at all.
And but like obviously Appleton, Mellin, Boys and Co, they all come from English pool. So obviously when we've all rocked up, I think Raj and Imran and Darryl were a bit gutted, really.
Pat McHugh's up. Let's go.
But it's not just us, you know. There's a lot of other great players in England, like Craig Osborne.
Yeah, shotgun. Shotgun.
Now, him a great pal, Jonesy. He's won a Euro Tour. You know, he's on the scene as well. So you know, we've got a lot of good players.
Definitely. So, like, your best result in American pool is probably undoubtedly the semi-final, the World Nine Ball semi-final.
Oh, what year was that? Was that 2011? Yeah, the year before Darren won it. Yeah, it's
And you kind of made a bit of a flap up there, right?
I think I lost to Reyes first match. I was 6-2 up and lost 9-8, and then I won a match, and I think I was playing Valdez, Vilmes Valdez from Hungary, who now lives in America, and I was something like 7-2 down to him, and I beat him 9-7 to qualify.
Lovely.
And then I've had a brutal draw. I've had a Taiwanese, I'm trying to think of these names now, Kuo Po Cheng, I think his name was, real quality.
I'll take your word for it.
And I was 10-7 down to him in the last 64, beat him 11-10. I played Mellin, last 32, beat him 11-10. Last 16, I can't remember. Oh, Babika, the Filipino Babika geezer, I beat him 11-5. And then in the quarters, I beat Shane Van Bonen 11-9. So I've had brutal draw. And then I Yukio Akiyama. Easy for you to say.
Put the beer down.
I was 8-3 down and come back to 10-10, and I broke at Hill and I scratched him off.
Shot.
I played the ball, and I just got a little kicking off, but the cue ball might have been going in off anyway. So
yeah, it does sum up your break really for me. That.
Well, that's easy. The World Nine Ball Championships is easy because the wing ball's wide. The rack's low, so you can't not make a ball. The only way you can't is if the referee stitches you up, which sometimes out in Qatar, with all respect to them, they're not the greatest referees. So
yeah, but you shouldn't scratch though.
No, of course not. That hurt because in the final, I was convinced I was going to win it. I had Ronnie Alcano in the final, and I thought there's no way I can lose to him. So, and Yukio battered him in the final. So that was really disappointing because like you'd have got 40,000 for winning. You'd have probably nailed a couple of big sponsors, and who knows what would have happened. So
yeah, that's kind of an ifs, buts, and maybes thing, isn't it? It's kind of. You know, you don't want to dwell on it too much, but you've had other good results as well. Like, you know, your career, I think, is probably overlooked a little bit. Considering, you know, you've been about a bit longer, and you're a great player in your own right. But you've got people like Tubbsy, who's got these silly run-outs. You've got Darren, who moved to the States.
Yeah.
And became one of the greatest players of all time.
Yeah.
And you've got Jason, who's doing it all now. But you've mixed it with the best, and you can beat them all.
I would say, let me have a slurp.
get your yid mug out.
I would say that if I was saying there was a top 5 English players ever, I think I would be in that top 5. 9 ball. I would say.
I'm not going to do this out loud. I'm going to do this in
I'll do it out loud for you. I'll
Go on,
Appleton, day and night, number
1.
And then you could go any order, really. Like, Darryl was world champion, and he's 4-time Euro Tour winner. I've won the Euro Tour 6 times, so that's a pretty good thing in itself.
Of course.
Boys, he was world 8-ball champion. You got Tubbs, he's won the China thing. I would say with the top 5, Darren's clear, because he's won the Chinese 8-ball world championship as well.
We just need 4 more.
You got Mellin, Boys, me, and Peach for the top 5 ever English 9-ball players.
You can't even dispute that, I don't think.
You could argue Burford, if he had continued playing, would have got in there.
Burford, you know, rumours are he was up there with Jason.
Oh, Phil Burford, great, but he chose to get a job, and it was the right move because Paul still isn't going great, you know.
Yeah, well, unless you got, you know, let's be honest, Jason's not short. Do you know what I mean? If he
but
Jason,
he's Scottish, isn't he? I'm on about five top English players.
Okay, yeah.
The top 5, I would put myself in that category with what I've done, you know.
100%. Like, so you've got the Mosconis, you've got the World
Cup of Pool runner-up twice, 2 times World Cup of Pool runner-up with Darrell when it was playing for England, and we really should have won it in 2015 against Taiwanese in the final. We was like cruising. But Darrell had just started to get the yips then, and he said to me at the start of the event, he said, "There's no way we can win this." I said, "Don't worry." I said, "Leave it to me." But I didn't have the yips.
It's gone down the line, your yips.
It's so funny. So every time whoever had the first shot, and it was a long shot, he'd go, "Here, our partner, leave it to you." But in the end, just a little bit too much, like trying to help someone all the way in there.
Yeah, you can.
I folded in the final as well, and we lost 10-8, but we should have won that really. But still, you know, 2 times World Cup of Pool runner-up, it's still by no mean achievement.
Of course.
And obviously world team champions was a big one, Pidge.
Yeah, 2010, right?
2010, me, Appleton, Boys, Imran, and Peachy. And this was probably the event that pulled us all together because there was a lot of animosity and jealousy amongst the English players. And I think there had been a European thing before this, Team European thing. And I got overlooked somehow. How I got overlooked was unbelievable. But Matchroom had said to him, or someone had said to him, "You pick who you want." And I think Darrell and Appleton got to choose. And one chose Imran and one chose Boise. And I never got picked. And I was like fuming. Because I'm like thinking, you know, I was ranked number 1 in Europe, 1 in England at the time. And then I think I got a message off Appleton a few months later sort of saying, "Not too proud of what I've done, blah, blah, blah." He said, "I want you to play in the World Team Championships." Because they could have just gone with 4 players.
Yeah.
Go with 5. And they took me along. And I think I was like man of the match for them, you know, that tournament. Like, I think Darren said the other night, the spot shot thing we had against China in the quarterfinals. Like, I nailed 9 out of 10. And Boise made 7 out of 10. And it was one of the most dramatic matches I've ever been involved in. And I think that pulled us all together. I think that we all got respect. We all started to trust one another a bit more. And it definitely helped us long term.
Yeah, like, in all seriousness, like, even now, say, like, as Boise's young enough still, really, if he put the practice in, right, and I put, some serious practice in, you'd have to practice as well because you're declining. You are declining. Let's put it that way, right? But in all seriousness, if you had Jay's. Yeah, go on, sorry. Like we could just have a solid British team versus USA.
We could win.
Yeah, you could actually win. I know we had the England versus USA thing, right?
Well, that was a bar.
Okay, so with no prize money and this, that, and the other, there wasn't really any incentive for any of you, right?
No.
Let's be honest here. You was all at the bar the night before till double early in the morning, right?
Drinking cups of tea, yeah.
Drinking whatever. But let's just say you didn't take it as seriously as what you would have done if there was 25 bags each.
Yeah, we'd win.
You'd have won it, right?
I'd back us to win.
Yeah, I think, in all honesty, you could put a British team out there that would beat Team USA.
Yeah.
Even with Tubbs's crazy white
just
ball.
Just off the top of my head, you'd go Shaw, Mellin, Appleton, me, Boise. Just M5, for instance, straight away.
Yeah, I think that beats you.
They're not going to love playing us 5 at our best, are they?
No, 100%. Well, not even now. Like, Darren's just coming back to his best. Like, he wants to play now. You, if you actually put some time in, even with your jabby Q action and your crappy break, you'd be all right. Boise, like, get him out of the box office. I think he's good to go. Yeah, I actually would back. I'd probably back a British team against USA right now.
Yeah, I would, to be honest.
I think that was...
America are going in the right direction, but they've still 100%. Got tweaks in them, you know.
Yeah, 100%. You know, Neil's folded like a cheap deck chair. Kachi wasn't at his best.
And Kazakis really is not comfortable in front of the TV cameras yet.
No, like he probably just shouldn't even be out there, really.
But you can't knock him because his consistency and his performance all year round are great. And the only way you improve on TV is by keep playing on TV.
So but this is where you'd like to hope. But this is where actually Matchroom are probably doing the right thing in regards to their ranking systems. You know, like, you do get Matchroom ranking points through Matchroom events.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of like that bit. There's certain other things, you know, not so much, but they're definitely, you know, if you perform well on the big stage, then you will, but you need to get to that big stage. You know, you can't keep having Kazakis play well out in like Euro tours, like in just an arena, and then coming and folding like a cheap deck chair, ruining Europe's chances just because the TV lights are there, right?
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? Euro tours, as much as it's probably the greatest tour in the world, you know, and the toughest tour player-wise, standard-wise, you're only playing for $4.5 winner, and you're playing in front of like 20, 30, 40 people. You're not playing in front of 2,000 people with live cameras with the crowd on your back. It's a different ball game. Now, I love all that. I play better when I'm in front of the camera.
Yeah.
But some people are suited to it and some are not.
Yeah, like, you know, I just think there's different strokes for different folks. Like, he is a consummate professional and he is a great player in his own right, in his comfort zone. But he does seem to struggle out there in the big main arena.
He's got a few scars now, hasn't he? Because obviously he messed up against Arcady in the World Pool Masters as well. So these things can play on your mind. But I back him to come back stronger. You know, he's a real nice guy. For me, he's a quality player. Just sometimes it takes certain players a little bit longer to adjust to the big time, you know. So.
But then you've got like Niels on the other end of the spectrum, who's been there, done it all, been rock solid through years and years and years. And even, I think after the last Mosconi, he even openly admitted that, you know, he now struggles more on the big stage than what he did years ago. You know, because he knows what the player he used to be.
So we had the old tennis elbow thing as well, which definitely affects him, I think. As much as he tries to play it down, it definitely affects his performances.
Yeah, but after his recovery, he went and snapped off the Masters, didn't he? Like, he'd only been playing a week.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's crazy.
It's amazing how it goes, isn't it? You can pick up your cue one day, feel brilliant, you know, and then another day you don't feel like you've ever held the cue before. So it's all in the head, and my head's not the great.
Me and you are not normal. And like, we actually joke, don't we? Like, especially like when we did the England versus USA, all players are bipolar. All pool players are off their nut, not normal. Yeah. You're traveling the world, all fighting each other for small paychecks, putting hours in. You have to be crazy.
Oh, it's a tough sport, is pool, definitely.
Definitely. So, realistically, there's not really too much more in your American pool career, really, that we can like highlights. You got the GB, you smashed the GB9 for Dom.
Yeah, I've had, you know, the GB9's a great tour, isn't it? You know, it's
best national tour in the world, I would say.
We've not always had all the best players playing all the time on it through various reasons. Obviously, Darren and Jason living in America, Mellin chooses not to play sometimes, whatever. But it's still a great tour, you know. The standards improved massively on that over the years. And, I'm pretty proud to have stayed number one on that for so long. Although I'm not one now. Benji's number one.
Benji's managed to stay there as well long because he was going to miss the second event, I think.
Yes.
And he was assuming that he was going to lose his number one spot without being able to, like, you know, play. And then COVID-19's it.
Yeah.
And he might stay number one for the rest of the year.
It might do.
Which is mental.
It's a bonus for number one at the end of the year.
Yeah, you don't have to pay his tour fees next year. Lovely.
But, you know, he's a prime example. Benji is another great lad. One of the, you know, definitely one of the best players in England at the moment. You wouldn't put him in the top 3 or 4 bracket, but he's knocking on the door. Beat Jason in the final of the last one. So
Yeah, but then like, you know, that's it. That's what we're saying about Paul, though, isn't it? Like up and down. Like he beat Jason, and then what? Like 4 days later, we're in Italy.
Yeah, and then he's like 7 out, or yeah.
He's like a different player. Like
And it's crazy.
I think me and Benji come joint 289th or something. Like, and I had borrowed cues and then picked one up for about 6 years.
Well, I think like the GB9, the pockets are tighter as well. Yet the Euro Tour, the pockets are a lot bigger. And the way Benji cues, you'd think he would go there and muller the Euro Tour, but I don't know. It's strange. It's horses for courses sometimes, Pidge, isn't it? And
100%.
You know, in general, I'm pretty comfortable on the Euro Tour. You know, 6 wins, 1 runner-up, and 7 thirds. So I've had a pretty good record on it over the years. But
definitely,
it's that tour's getting tougher now. So many youngsters now. You know,
those youngsters are crazy good.
Miller, obviously, world champ, US champ. You got Fidel, Gorst, the current world 9-ball champ from Russia. They're all like teenagers, 20-year-old. It's a young man's game now.
Yeah, like obviously I went to my first Euro Tour in February, and like you've just got like even kids knocking about. They're like 11, 12 years old, and I'm thinking, geez, I don't want that draw. You look at them and think, yes, please, I can get through a round. And then you see it knock them up, and you think, oh.
And you got 200 runners there as well.
Yeah, of course it's deep as well. Like everyone can run racks on those tables. That's the thing. It's just the better players will run more.
The thing is now, with what Matchroom do and Mosconi points for all the Euro Tour events and all that, you're getting every player dreaming of playing in the big events. So you're getting every good player. The ones that didn't even used to bother turning out because they work and they don't need to play pool. You're even getting them turning up now with that little dream of it, and playing in the World Cup of Pool for their nation, or playing in the Mosconi or the World Pool Masters. Because Matchroom are bumping the money up a little bit in them big events, and obviously they've got the US Open now. They've got the World 9-ball Championships, which is going to be in January. But I've not heard where it's going to be yet. Have you?
I'll be the last to hear, pal. Don't worry about that.
Well,
so you get the Matchroom going in the right direction, but your career, you're winding it down a bit, right? Like, or considering it?
Well,
whole career.
Yeah, it's like all of a sudden I've got back into snooker a little bit, which is like crazy. I play in my local league on a Thursday night with all my mates, and I'm lucky that the team I play in, all my mates are mates in that as well. Like my mates who I go out and watch the footy with and have a beer with and that. So I really started to enjoy it. And then just sort of heard about this Snooker Seniors tour 2 years ago. And I decided just to play a couple, went on a whim, not really practiced, sort of won a match here and there, and then sort of just totally forgot about it. And then this year, at the start of this year, a mate of mine who had a hernia operation, who's got his own snooker table, said, go over to his house and start playing. And all of a sudden I got the bug back for it. And before I knew it, I knocked in a 147, which is like my 37th 147 in my career. Like 8 or 9 years after my last one. So all of a sudden I'm thinking, well, this is a bit bizarre. I can't run 9 balls on a 9-ball table. Knocking maxes in. And then I've gone and played in 3 of the senior events this year, and I placed 9th, 5th, and then I had a runners-up spot in the last one, which was a 6 red event, and I lost to Michael Judge, who's a real good player, and all of a sudden I've climbed up to 27th in the World Seniors rankings.
Is there a decent amount of prize money in the World Seniors, you think?
No. Well, there is. If you get to the venue, like if I'd have won that one at Sheffield, the 6 Reds event, you then go and play with Jimmy White, Thorben, Dennis Taylor, Joe Johnson, John Parrott, Hendry, and all them.
All the proper codgers.
And then if you win it there, you get like 10 grand. So you can win some money.
Yeah.
There's
got to jump through some hoops.
Yeah, you have to go and win the qualifier and then go and like beat all them. But I'm playing it more for fun and enjoyment, and I've actually been doing all right and won a couple of quid. So
the pressure's off if you're going to enjoy it, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Well, I find pool, I'm not enjoying it as much as I used to. Probably that's because I knew I'd rock up and win without sounding cocky, but sometimes you have that fear factor. That's probably the only reason why I still do all right in the GB9 is like I've still built. I'm rocking up, not feeling great, and I'm still managing to win like 2 a year, probably. So, but yeah, I'm enjoying the snooker again, and like I say, I think it's because there's no pressure on me, and so see where the seniors goes.
Okay, so like, so obviously COVID-19 is it sucked,
Yeah.
right? Everyone's at home. You've got the lovely wife, Kerry, and your little sproglet, Sophia, there.
She's not my wife, pal.
You're not married? Oh, no, you're not.
No,
you haven't got that really long surname. Papa Dopper Lopper.
No, don't be
You've kept your millions tucked under the sofa and not marrying her, right?
No.
So but long-term girlfriend, wife,
Yeah.
fiance. Are you even engaged?
Don't be silly.
Christ, even give her a little bit of hope, man. Give her a little bit. Poor Kerry. So, all right, Kerry, long-time partner.
Yeah, just call her the missus, yeah.
The missus, the lovely little Sophia who popped in to see us earlier.
Yeah.
So you're at home at the moment, right? For the last 6 weeks.
Last 6 weeks, done my absolute Sweden.
The missus is going to work as well, right? She's like a key worker.
Yeah, she works for the NHS, so she's like right on the front line.
Kerry. Thank you.
And,
so you're left home doing daycare?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, she's been working from home every day, and I've got to keep the little one away from her because obviously she's doing conference calls, phone calls, etc. So I've got to keep Sophia occupied all day doing the homework. And
so have you got a little 4-foot table in yet to try and teach her what's going on?
Yeah, she has got a little 2-foot pool table we bought her a year or so ago for Christmas.
There you go.
Not on there either.
No. You twitched right across the table. Knock it over on that.
So, so I've been like doing that, doing the washing, doing the ironing, not the cooking though, Pidge, not the cooking.
Oh, I can't imagine. So, listen, we've had some actually good times. Over the last couple of years since I've been involved in Pool, we've got to know each other quite well. I sponsored you last year through Pigeon Pool Promotions.
Yeah.
What have we done? We've been to the World Cup of Pool together.
I thought you was going to ask me what are some of the funniest moments in Pool, actually. And this was one of them, wasn't it? You remember me and Imran. Imran says we'll be organised. He was my partner, wasn't he, last year in the World Cup of Pool? And obviously, Matchroom have changed it from England to Great Britain, which, I think the only person that's really happy about that is Jason Shaw. But the rest of us English will rather play for Team England. Nothing against Jason, because obviously whoever gets picked to play with Jason's over the moon, because for me, he's the best player in the world right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's changed to Great Britain. And the year before, me and Imran had played for England in China, so I got the shirts sorted. So this time, he decided to get the shirts, didn't he, Pidge?
Well,
so anyway,
I've still got the picture, just in case.
So anyway, he says to me, I'll sort the shirts out, Mark, trust me. So you remember, we went to that little knockout Scotch doubles at Leicester, played the locals, had a bit of fun, didn't we? And Imran shows us the shirts he's got made for the World Cup of Pool. And we're playing in 2 days' time. So anyway, the shirt he pulls out, he's got his sponsors on my shirt. He said it was blue and red, but it was blue and burgundy. It was a red wine colour.
Yeah.
And then he said, I've got a little surprise on it. It's got a little gimmick put on it, hasn't it? A little low, and he's had a picture of a lion. I said, for a start, Imran, Great Britain, it's a British bulldog. I said, England Lions.
It's ruined it, and it was the worst graphic you've ever seen, right?
The worst shirt I've ever seen in my life.
Like, picture tattoo disasters.
Oh,
right,
God.
And put it on the back of a shirt. It was atrocious.
And we're playing in 2 days' time. And you remember, me, you, and Imran were running around Leicester the next day to get a shirt.
For like
and we went in every shop possible. And the last shop we went in was that Lacoste shop.
Yeah. The most expensive shirts ever worn. Ever worn in a World Cup Pool. They're like 80-odd quid or whatever it was, I swear to God. And then we've had to go and find a printing shop.
Yeah, to print great.
They'll print the shirts there and then.
Yeah.
Mental. Like, my legs were in bits.
I know.
Up and down escalators, round and round shopping centres.
And then we lost first round, 7-5 to Chile.
Lovely. Thanks for coming. They didn't miss a ball.
Imran couldn't play a positional shot all of a sudden.
What a geezer.
What a day that was. So
we had a nice bit of tucker though, didn't we? We went to that nice Turkish place and had some nice
food. Yeah.
Oh, that plate of meat. Ludicrous, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, that was good. That was a great trip, to be fair, yeah. And then Jonesy come over and see us as well.
Oh, yeah, we were sat there singing songs, and me and Jonesy.
Jonesy decides to get spanked, challenges one of the Australian guys, loses a
Justin Sashish. He's 6 pints deep and says, I'll play you for 100 quid, I'll give you a 1 star, and I'll borrow a cue.
Yeah, that went well.
That did not go well.
Good old Jonesy.
And I nicked Dennis Graves' cue. This time he had the maple thing, and he had like a 4-foot long extension on the bottom of it, and it towered like 3 feet above me. I looked like I was going to go lancing.
Oh dear. Another funny story, Peach. I don't know whether I told you. Did you ever go to Mickey Flynn's at Cambridge?
Yeah, of course. I used to play for him.
Well, me and Jonesy have got this again. Was when I was ranked high in the Euro Tour, and we've got invited to a tournament in either Czech Republic or Poland. A guy called Thomas Onderek wanted us to go out there. I think the tournament was in Czech Republic, right on the edge of Poland. And he said there'll be a few good Polish there. He said, "Well, I'll pay for you to come over, do your hotel and everything." So I've got to meet Jonesy the night before, like I always do. And you know how you look down on the pool tables from the bar area, so like the balcony. So anyway, we're both flying. Here we go. Look, Jones is on. I'm on the jukebox putting these tunes on. I've put Footloose on. So Jones is on the balcony dancing away. And then the next, I've turned around to ask him a question. I can't see him. I'm thinking, on here. Anyway, so I'm like shouting, Jonesy, Jonesy. And I heard this like scream. And then I've looked down the balcony. He's on the floor, and because he's had a San Miguel too many. And he's done his ankle in, but I just thought he was exaggerating it. Anyway, we've gone over to this tournament. He's got in the wheelchair through the airport.
You've actually gone to Poland with his ankle?
Yeah, we've still gone. I said, come on. I said, we can't pull out now. I said, we're playing like 2 days' time. So we've got there. Jones is in a wheelchair. We've got to the guys picked us up the other end. He said, what's happened to you? And we've explained like
Footloose.
Anyway, Jonesy somehow managed to get the quarterfinals, and I won this tournament. And then Jonesy comes home. He said, I've got to go doctors about it. He rings me up. He's got a broken ankle. So he's travelled and played the whole tournament with a broken ankle. And how ironic is he was dancing to Footloose when he broke.
No, well, we had the wind up Jonesy day the other week, wasn't it? And you was on that. So, like, you brought it up, right? You brought up the wind up.
Yeah.
So, Germany. And the lift.
Yes. Me, Peach, and Jonesy. This is funny. Jonesy had just won the previous Euro Tour as well. So he was on a right high, like now his first major tournament. And then was in Brandon, I can't remember where it was now. But it's really hot. We'd all got mosquito bites. It was the worst venue in the world. Me, Peach, and Jonesy, we always qualify for the last 32, last 16, usually. But this one we didn't. And we was all beat by the last 48.
Yeah.
So we've gone, the German beer was really strong. And us three got to the bar drinking by about 3 in the afternoon. By about 7, we're all absolutely hammered. And we're going upstairs. And in the lift, outside each escalator, there's like trees. So we kept stopping at each level and putting a tree in, swapping escalators, sending trees down. So when people were getting in, they couldn't get in the lift. And then we got to the top deck, me, Peach and Jonesy, absolutely wetting herself, trees in all these lists of that. And then one of the organisers collared us right on the top deck. So Jones is in bits. He said, how's my form? I win a Euro Tour and I'm going to be banned for the rest of the year. But thankfully, we dug ourselves out of that one. We made out the beer was too expensive. And Gree actually saw the funny side of it in the end after we done a few apologies.
After you grovelled.
Did Jones tell you about the one in Qatar, World Nine Ball Championships as well?
No.
Oh, right.
Let's go. You brought it up.
This it's sort of funny and it's not funny. This was the World Nine Ball Championship. I think it was in 2000. Peachy won it in 2007, and then he didn't get played for 2 years. So he was like world champion by default for them couple of years. So he only goes to get to defend it in 2010. Right. Me, Jonesy, Ozzy, and Peachy all got a massive room together. You've all got rooms are huge out there in Qatar, and you've all got big TVs each in your room. But in my room, the remote wasn't working on the TV. So I swapped it with Ozzy one day. Then Ozzy swapped it with Jonesy or something. And then Jonesy swapped it with Peach. Peachy, bless his heart, has gone 2 and out. Defending champion, 2 and out. Gutted, he's come back. Gone to put the telly on, not working. There's like me, Ozzy, and Jonesy all sniggering and laughing. Dazzler's like, come on, boys, who swapped the remote? Like, going absolutely mental. And we've just kept sniggering and said nothing. And he's absolutely lost the plot, Dazzler.
Well, like, lost it, flipped.
Yeah, honestly, you'd have thought someone would have robbed $1 million off him. He just went loopy. And it all ended up over Facebook that week. Everyone was taking the mickey out of us. So it's just another crazy pool player moment, really. So
there's been a few, isn't there? Right, like someone took a shortcut in France once upon a time.
Me and Jonesy on the French Euro tour.
Leave it with you. Go on.
We got hammered on the last day. I think he come 5th and I come 9th or something in the Euro tour, and we couldn't be bothered to go back to the hotel and get changed, so we just stayed drinking at the club all day. But the hotel was a little bit of a walk, but we're starving, absolute Hank Marvin, need some food. And we knew there was a KFC, and we tried to cut through something, jump through a car lot or something. Next thing we know, we got the coppers on us. And the coppers had collared us and had about a 15-minute chat with us. Got to the KFC and it was shut.
Oh, what a nightmare.
So, yeah, that was another great one. So, yeah.
So you've had fun. You've enjoyed your career anyway.
Yeah, snooker I enjoyed the start of my career. Then the pros, I enjoy going pro, but never really fulfilled my potential. 9-ball, I don't think I have any regrets at 9-ball. I went into it with no expectations, and if you look at my CV, I suppose 6-time Euro Tour, 2-time World Cup of pool runner-up, 3-time Mosconian winner, world team champions, multiple Open event winners, and that. You know, I've been to countries like Bosnia, where I won the Bosnia Open many years ago.
Yeah, you've travelled, you've made some money.
Yeah, I've been to Vegas, which I'm not sure that's good or bad for me, but you know, I've been there. It was always a dream to go there. I've been to Philippines. That's a crazy place. Qatar, Kuwait, other different cultures. You know, so I've been to some amazing places through pool, where snooker was just predominantly in England. So I don't know I have any regrets. Maybe my biggest regret maybe is not nailing an individual type major, like the top Europeans class of Euro tours as major. But I suppose really, like, I'd like to have now the World Pool Masters or World Cup of Pool, or just an individual World 9-ball title, maybe.
US Open, something like that. You know what I mean?
It's funny, actually, the World Pool Masters back in 2015, it was at Manchester, and I played Ko Pin-Yi round 1, beat him 8-4, 8-5. Then I played Suke, beat him 8-6 from 6-3 down, ran a 5-pack when it's winner breaks. And I'm playing Appleton in the semis, and I was there with my missus, and I was playing all these matches, and like, my name was little one had been run into hospital. Her tonsils was all swelled up and she couldn't breathe. And then I was heading to the semi-finals to play Appleton, and I thought I was going to win the tournament. I was playing so well, and then my missus burst into tears while I'm about to play that match, and I've gone into that match with my head up my arse, and I thought I was going to win that. So that was like a tough one to take. It's no one's fault. It's just life. But,
no, it's just life, isn't it?
UK, I was like thinking, yeah, I can win this, and I think I lost to Daz 8-4, 8-5, but like I just wanted to lose and get home. You know, I needed to get to the hospital to see the little one, so that was a tough one to take.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
these things are sent to try us, right?
Sorry.
These things are sent to try us, right?
Yeah, of course. You know, like health's far more important than winning at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So it's like life's tough at the moment with it, and it's doing my head in, but you know. Hopefully things will change soon. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah, I can't really have too many regrets with what I've done. If I don't ever win another tournament again at pool, I don't think I can be.
You won't play that.
I think a lot of people would take what I've done at the game. You know.
Yeah, of course, even half of that.
Yeah,
you've had a great career, really.
You know, I've met a lot of great players. You know, on the snooker world, grew up with the likes of Ronnie O'Sullivan and all that, know him well. So. Met a lot of great people in the pool world, so
yeah.
Made a few, like Jonesy. I never knew Jonesy, and he's like become one of my best mates. You know, Jonesy. I often go over and see him at WTs.
Class guy. I've known Jonesy
it's often the reason why I lose my first match on the Euro Tour. Because I've had 6 pictures the night before, missed the bus, had to get a taxi to the airport, and
sounds like Jonesy. Sounds like WT's. I grew up in that place.
Like, he's become one of my best mates. Also, Benji Buckley. I room with him on the Euro Tour now since Jonesy stopped playing on the Euro Tour, and Benji's a real good lad as well. So
yeah, you got good people.
Yeah. Very good.
Sweet. Right, so we're going to wrap this up with a final question. What shall it be? What shall it be?
Tottenham? Anything about Tottenham?
Oh, don't be silly. 30 years, mate.
Oh, dear.
What should it be? What should it be?
Who's my sporting hero?
Sorry?
Who's my sporting hero?
No, that's Higgins, isn't it?
Him and Gaza and Ronnie.
You can't have 3.
Well, Alex got me into... Alex Higgins was my hero, and then when I met him, he wasn't a nice guy when I met him.
So he went down the list.
But no, but he's still like one of the main reasons why snooker's where it is now, and always a lot of childhood memories watching Higgins. Gascoigne because of Tottenham, and obviously that great goal he scored against the Scots in the Euro '96, and then Ronnie because I grew up with Ronnie, so anytime snooker's on, I always want to watch Ronnie. So for me, he's the greatest player that's ever lived.
Okay. So, who is the best looking promoter right now? Jack Garrison from Level 2 Billiards, Emily Fraser from Matchroom Sport, Pigeon from Pigeon Pool Promotions, and Greer from that Euro Tour. He'll do.
Is there a check in the post here, is there?
There's a check in the post. You've got to pick one of them, bro.
I've not hurt much this last 7 weeks, mate. So
I've got to give Emily a win. You've not hurt much. Shit, please pick Greer.
Have I got to answer that?
No, you don't have to. Yeah, go on, you have to.
I think I preferred you with a Barnet, though, Pidge.
Yeah, man. Me too. But look.
I think you need to get the Barnet back.
Yeah, look, you can't do that, mate. It's all right for you. You just went grey.
Yeah, totally grey.
I lost mine.
Totally grey.
Be grateful. You put grey hairs in my beard. That 1 year sponsoring you, I lost my hair and went grey. I didn't even need specs before I met you.
It's probably that night at Leicester Casino when you went lost it all.
World Cup of Pool. Yes, mate. Thanks for coming.
Less said about that one, the better.
Yeah. Was you out drinking with me in Italy as well?
Italy? I was there for a little while at the bar, but you were shooting off playing poker and stuff as well. So
money, beers, drinks. Like, how many people does that hotel take? I reckon I bought everyone a drink twice.
Probably. You may well have done.
Oh, we've had some good times. But in all seriousness, it's been an absolute pleasure this last couple of years getting to know you, sponsoring you. Pigeon Pool Promotions ever makes money ever again. You know, you could be back on the first.
One good thing we're not mentioned is my English pool career.
Write it off.
That went well.
Write it off. You got done by Sweaty for 26k, 1 match, job done. That's it. That's your career.
And what are all these English pool players doing? Saying I'm a 1 to 3 favourite. I'm going to beat him. That was unbelievable. That crazy.
1 to 3. They laughed at us all the way to the bank. Pat even took me out after with the 26k.
That was a tough schooling I took that night.
Yeah, he battered you.
He played well. So, I don't think I'll be rushing into any English pool matches too soon.
No, 1 to 3. Jesus Christ. Right, Mark, as I say, we've got 48 seconds left, so I'm just going to wrap it up with, as I say, it's been a real pleasure getting to know you over the last couple of years. You are a top guy, family guy.
Cheers, mate.
You could do with working on your break and twitching all over the gaff.
Yeah.
But I